Look up into the canopy of any vibrant forest ecosystem, and you'll find apex predators actively hunting. Down in the dark, shadowed underbrush, life operates on a different scale. This radar chart maps out the 6 core base stats of Caterpie. Notice how the resulting shape is an incredibly small polygon tightly clustered around the center point. With a total stat pool of 195, including an attack of 30 and special attack of 20, it lacks the mathematical ability to fight back. Ultramoon records confirm its body is exceptionally soft and weak. Its perpetual fate is food. By every available biological and statistical metric, this organism is engineered to be a victim. Yet, imagine stepping into the tall grass of Route 2 for the very first time. You have no experience, no badges, and only a single partner by your side. According to the official Moon Pokédex data, this highly vulnerable caterpillar is explicitly listed as one of the top recommendations for novice trainers. Why would expert designers and seasoned professors hand an untested 10-year-old the most defenseless creature in the entire forest? That extreme weakness is a precisely calibrated feature. It's the starting point for a lesson that the player doesn't even realize they're learning. The game places Caterpie immediately in the player's path, heavily populating early areas like Viridian Forest. This tree breaks down Caterpie's base catch rate of 255. Throwing a standard Pokeball at a full health Caterpie gives a 1 in 3 chance of a successful capture, without landing a hit. This ensures a new player's first throw works, removing frustration while navigating the tall grass. Once caught, the player is handed a highly restricted combat kit. A wild Caterpie knows exactly 2 moves: tackle and string shot. Unable to strike with heavy offensive power, the creature relies on its defensive biology. It uses suction cups on its feet to climb and hide, and when threatened, releases a horrible stench from its red antenna to repel enemies, while deploying string shot to slow them down. By denying the player brute force, the game encourages a novice to experiment with status effects and speed manipulation, rather than just clicking through attacks. Surviving long enough to grow requires immense energy. Caterpie has a voracious appetite, compelling it to devour up to 100 leaves a day, often foliage significantly larger than its own body. That insatiable hunger translates mechanically into a medium-fast growth rate, allowing it to gain levels rapidly with minimal experience. This step-line graph tracks level progression from 1 to 10. Notice the jump at level 7, where Caterpie molts into Metapod, followed immediately by a second jump at level 10, when it emerges as Butterfree. This rapid biological change is a demonstration. By the time a player reaches the first gym, they've already seen a creature transform twice, witnessing the core concept of evolution before their starter has even grown a handful of levels. Looking at the first few hours of a journey, we can see how these individual traits fit together. This timeline compares a standard starter's linear progression against Caterpie's growth curve below. While a starter barely learns its second attack, Caterpie completes its entire life cycle. By level 10, the worm becomes a fully fledged bug and flying creature with powerful spores. Eventually, the Butterfree line hits a limit. Its stats don't scale high enough to defeat the final champions of the league. But that's the trade-off. Caterpie requires only a small investment of time, and in return, it grants the player a sudden, tangible surge in power exactly when the early difficulty begins to climb. This proves a rule that will define the rest of the game. Even the most vulnerable entity can become a powerful ally if you're willing to look past its initial weakness. For a new trainer, Caterpie is the first time they realize that in this world, every path is worth exploring.